Hey guys, thanks for going on this nerd journey with me. If you want your episodes ad-free, go to makemeanerd.com/join and hit that button.
Hooked on you, baby, you're golden. Time moves, I never noticed. Just can't get enough. Got me wonderstruck.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Make Me a Nerd. I'm Mandy Kaplan, a mainstream mom whose mission it is to explore the world of nerd culture that I've been missing out on and afraid of my whole life. Nerd culture can mean a lot of things. It can mean, I think of the traditional, like Dungeons and Dragons, sci-fi, fantasy world. It can also mean how you approach something. If you have a hobby, but you are nerdy about it, you are in chat rooms and going to cons and joining leagues and really passionate and you want to deep dive. That's not my personality type. That's why I started this podcast. I find nerdy people who want to make me a nerd about different things. And this topic brought to you by my guest's wife, who said, my husband's a great big nerd about pinball and you should have him on. He is my friend. He is a pinball wizard himself. And he's my new neighbor, which is personally very exciting. Clark Hill.
Hey, everybody.
Well, they can't see you wave.
Well, I'm just trying to be enthusiastic.
It's just you and I. Do you consider yourself a nerd in general?
Yeah.
In what ways? Tell me everything.
I've always been a nerd. I don't know. I'm like a theater kid. I play video games. I play magic cards. I play pinball. Yeah, I don't know. Pinball's like the third nerdiest thing I do.
Really?
I don't know. Magic cards is pretty nerdy.
Magic? You mean Magic the Gathering?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really nerdy. I haven't tried that yet.
Let's see. Well,
yeah.
Have you done a podcast on Magic the Gathering?
Not yet.
Oh, that's a great topic. I'm probably not the one, but you know.
Well, we'll see how this goes.
Okay, yeah.
But I remember meeting you and years ago and seeing that you had pinball machines in your home. Like, this is not what other people typically have. Where did this start for you, this love of pinball?
When I was growing up, my aunt and uncle had a pinball machine at their house. So that was always like the cool house to go to for holidays, birthdays, whatever. It's like, oh, going to Uncle Bob's house.
Shout out, Bob. Yeah.
Shout out to Bob. I don't know. I just think that was like my first introduction to it. And then I remember...
Do you know what game that was?
Oh, yeah. It's still in the family. 8-ball.
8-ball. I'm assuming that's a pool.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
billiards.
There's a lot of billiards themes from the 70s, 80s, because they were featured in pool halls a lot.
Okay.
If that was maybe one of the machines you saw at my house. It was in my house for a little bit. And then I remember I was on vacation in Florida, and I was probably like 12 or 13. And I saw somebody playing Terminator 2 pinball.
Mm.
And they were like, their whole body was moving and they were like so into it. And they would play like for so long. I was just like in the arcade watching this like adult play pinball. And he was like so good at it. And I was like, I've never seen anything like it. And that was like sort of like a pinball moment for me. And then in college, we would like go to the bars and drink, and you know, if it was a choice between a bar that didn't have pinball and a bar that had pinball, like, oh, we're going to the place where we could play pinball when we drink.
Yeah. I don't think I saw pinball around me other than at the Fun and Games arcade. Shout out anyone from Framingham. We had a great arcade on Route 9. But once that closed, I don't remember pinball just being at a pizza place or a bar, or I don't think we had a lot of that growing up. So pinball for me is like, I guess the bowling alley.
Yeah. But that's not like a fun place to like hang out and drink and, you know, I mean.
Have you ever, let's go out this weekend. You don't know. We'll make the most of it.
I recently watched this film about pinball, about like the ups and downs of the industry,
Hmm.
and I think you watched it too. And so pinball's enjoying a bit of a resurgence right now, but you go back 15 years, pinball wasn't that big. You didn't see it really at bars. There was a pinball, um, there was a bowling alley in the Valley, Pins in Studio City,
Hmm.
and they had like four pinball machines there, and that
Uh-huh.
was like the most pinball machines of anywhere in a 1 hour radius. So we would go play at the bowling alley, but it wasn't that great of a venue to
Sure,
enjoy a
sure.
pint and play pinball.
How many pinball machines do you have now?
I have no pinball machines.
You don't?
Zero.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I would have a pinball machine or two, but it's more important to stay married.
It's debatable. Jared doesn't listen to this. I can say that. Uh, that's not true. I love you, Jared. Okay, so you don't have any at the moment. Did you ever have more than one? Did you ever have a collection?
I think the most I ever had at my place at a time was like two.
Oh,
We've had like one or two over the years. But the thing is, I like to go out. I like to, leave the house in general. So I need somewhere to go. So it kind of works out.
so this is one question I had, and we did both watch Shoot Again, the documentary, the aforementioned documentary.
Shoot again.
So one of my observations was that they talk about how now they're doing conventions and getting people together. I forget the name of the big con that they were trying to do to plan the expo.
Edinburgh, maybe. Yeah, there's a couple.
It was like
There's
the
a couple.
expo. But what my question is, essentially pinball is like a solo thing, isn't it?
Right.
You're playing on your
Yeah.
own. You're hopefully putting some blinders on so you can focus and really do your thing. So it seems strange that you just said it. It's like I want to go out and be social to do this thing that
Mm,
is a solo thing.
I don't necessarily want to be social. I want to like leave the house.
Oh,
I want to like go out, just so I feel like a change of scenery.
okay.
But
But you
part
don't
of
meet
the
up with
appeal,
people?
sometimes I do, but like I could go out just solo on my own and play 3 hours of pinball and I'm perfectly happy. I think that's part of the appeal is like you're in your own world. I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have to smile or like put on airs. I just focus. I'm in my zone.
I get that. Then I wonder about but you said you are in leagues, correct?
I am in one pinball league currently. I've been in a couple other leagues, but yeah, in one right now. Lots of fun.
What is the social element of it in a league or at an
Yeah,
expo?
no, for sure. I think some people do the league really just for like more for social interaction. I do it completely not. No, I don't know. I like to hang out with people, I guess, but I do it more for like the competitive nature and just to learn. And I don't know. It's like it gives me a reason to go out and practice pinball. Um, to me, it justifies all of the other pinball that I play. It's like, well, I'm in a league. I got to go practice.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
But no, a lot of people are in the league for social reasons. And like, I have a bunch of pinball friends that I've made over the years, and that's the social aspect of it is great. But it is kind of funny. It's like bowling, right? Like the activity you're doing totally solo, totally on your own, no focus on anything else. But then when you're done with the thing, it's like, well, now somebody else has to play pinball. So you go and talk to all the other friends in the league.
I remember when I was creating my show Miscast, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I needed to get out of the house because this was in my I had an infant at home and I needed out. And people said, oh, do like a one woman show or go take voice lessons or go take acting lessons or whatever. But for me, it was like I wanted the camaraderie. I wanted a bunch of like
Hmm.
souls to be with. I didn't want to do a one woman show. If I'm
Yeah.
going to get out of my house. I want to be with others like me, like the bee girl in that Blind Melon video. I want to find my people. Right? What a
Totally.
reference.
Yeah.
Topical
Yeah.
reference.
It's a deep
But
cut.
right, but there's an unspoken commonality that you all have. It's like we all love doing this, and that
Yes.
immediately bonds us, and then we can form friendships or just be together when we're in the moment and then go about our lives. Let's dive into this movie, and throughout I'm going to pepper you with questions about your preferences in pinball games and all.
Okay.
So this was called Shoot Again. I watched it on Tubi. And let me do the log line. So if anybody wants to know what we're talking about, it's a documentary in an era of digital streaming, cloud-based and electronic entertainment. Pinball is a paradox. The team looks at how a 300-pound box of lights and wires appeals to a new generation. That's it. This is like a love letter to pinball. Almost like, I would say, a long-form ad for
Totally.
the games and the sport. There's no lead character in the documentary that we're following. There's no tension. Everybody's just gushing about this thing they love.
It made me want to go play pinball. I finished it and I was like, well, I'm going to the arcade.
And did you?
Yeah.
Were you allowed out? It made me want to play pinball too. I have to say, they did such beauty shots of these games and the lights and I wish there were more sound. The film, we're not here to review the film, but the film had wall-to-wall music. There was never a moment of silence. And then one of them says, I just love how all the pinball machines sound. It's like a symphony of pinball noise, but they never let us hear that. And I was like, guys, let us hear it. If you're talking about how great that sound is. Pinball is not relaxing. It is adrenaline. It is bright lights, loud sounds. And yet somehow I got the sense that all combines to make a symphony that does ultimately make these guys feel like relaxed. Is that accurate, or am I an idiot?
You're onto something. I don't think it's relaxation as much as it's like a flow state. To me, like, a lot of things can induce a flow state. Sports, video games. To me, pinball is like the ultimate flow state inducing mechanism because it's super mesmerizing with the sound and the lights, and you have to be completely focused. You're standing at this machine. There's something about it that just like grips you, and it's like you're in the world of pinball.
You're in the zone.
You're in the zone.
What is your favorite? If 10,000 machines were all lined up and it was like, Park, you can only have one. You can only play one.
Oof.
What would you choose?
I mean, if there's that many pinball machines, I'd probably gravitate towards some of the older machines that I haven't played before. But let's set that aside. I think, honestly, my favorite machines are some of the newer machines. There's a game designer by the name of Keith Elwin, and he's only made, I don't know, half a dozen games that he's actually been the designer on. But I love all of them. To me, he's like the best game designer. If I could only play one pinball machine for the rest of my life, it would be, I don't know, Jaws, or probably something designed by Keith.
Have you encountered him? Do you know him?
Oh my gosh. I totally embarrassed myself in front of him because I'm such a fanboy.
Tell the world that story if you're comfortable.
I was at a large pinball tournament in Disc, which is, it never drains in Southern California. It's the World Championship event that takes place here in California. And I went, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. And I was just having drinks in the bar with a bunch of pinball people. Bowen Cairns was there, another just legend in the field. Escher Lefkoff was there, huge titans of pinball. And I held it together for Bowen, because Bowen, I love him. But when Keith was there, and I'm like having a beer with Keith Elwin, I was just like, your games are the greatest, and like, you're the greatest of all time. And he apparently this must happen to him because he was like, it was like a
Speaking
hot
of
chick.
someone that
He
this
was like the
happens
hot
to,
chick in
Clark.
high school. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just get
Like, get
used to
away from me,
it.
nerd. Yeah.
No, that's so cool. And when you say design games, in this documentary, they did show the inner workings of some machines.
Mhm.
And they seem to be handmade. You can't really
Yeah.
crank them out in a factory, right?
I mean, they're made in a factory, and a lot of the parts mostly are machined, but
Hmm.
they have to be put together by a person, as of now.
Which I love. It gives it the human element. And when I said
I don't
factory, I guess
think it
I
would
meant
be
like
pinball without that,
yeah, I
because
meant like a
because
production line or whatever you call it.
every
But
machine is so different. I could play one Jaws machine here in Los Angeles, and I could go, to some other location in a different state and play Jaws, and they're like totally different games.
oh,
Each has its own personality.
really? Different graphics, different lights, different settings, or
Well,
just
some of
in
it's
that there's
settings,
variance in how they were built?
all of the above. Yeah, some of it's
Okay.
settings. So you can have like competition mode, you can have casual mode, at least for the new ones. The tilt settings. Do you know about tilting?
No,
This is very important in pinball culture. So you
lay it
have
on me.
you have a mechanical mechanism. I know this is not a visual medium, but there is a there's a plumb. There's like a pendulum
Hmm.
that hangs down with a weight at the bottom, and
Okay.
around the pendulum, around the plumb is a ring. And so when the machine moves, the pendulum moves, and if it hits the side of the ring, you get a tilt. You lose the ball, you lose your bonus. So you can move the machine.
Like a gutter in bowling?
Yeah, yeah, it's like a
Okay.
zero. So
Okay.
you can move the machine to help influence how the ball's moving, but if you move it too much, you get a tilt. You get a penalty.
You can physically move the machine when you're playing?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're encouraged to.
I don't know if I could. I'm a weak little
Well,
thing. It's a 300-pound thing. I just read that.
yeah, no, they're heavy. And there's some injuries. People get injuries sometimes, hand injuries, finger injuries, elbow injuries, wrist injuries,
Sure.
which is ridiculous. And you're laughing, but it
You said
happens.
it, not me.
I had to wear a glove for like a couple months because I hurt my hand.
Look, you're talking
Um,
to a lady who got like a first-degree burn from a Pop-Tart. So I
no,
understand injuries from things that don't seem dangerous.
yes,
It
it can happen.
happens. That
Yeah,
frosting. Well, they interviewed dozens and dozens and dozens of pinball players, designers, people who had tried to launch their own companies in this documentary. So we got the
yeah,
gamut of just like use the end user and the person who created it, which was, I thought,
totally.
interesting. One of the women that they interviewed, of the few women that they had, we can get there, Lindsay Rhodes says, well, the machines all have different rules. To a noob like me, they look like it's all the same. Like you push the
Yeah,
flippers and the ball
there's only two
goes and you
buttons.
right? I mean, that looks
Yeah,
they all look the same. But
yeah,
can you explain what she meant or what they all have different rules means?
yeah, yeah. So when we talk about rules or a rule set, it's it basically means like how scoring works. At the end of the day, it's all about getting the highest score.
Hmm.
So, on a given pinball machine, you might have two ramps and two loop shots and a little saucer shot and a couple stand-up targets, and they're all worth X number of points. But it gets much more complicated than that. You might have to hit the three stand-up targets in order to light one of the ramps for a jackpot, or to lock a ball for multi-ball, or to start a mode, and then a mode starts, and then that changes the rules during the mode so that this
Gotcha.
thing's worth so many points.
Like
Does that
leveling
make
up
sense?
in or if
Yeah,
you play Mario, which I've never done, but I know that like the screen changes if you get through this thing, now you're in a new challenge.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at me using
Right?
video game analogies.
That's the best analogy for pinball.
Probably, yes. Well, before I ask this much deeper question, I want to ask you when they're showing hundreds of different video games on this documentary, were you doing a little tally like played it, or were you, because that's what I mean, I was sitting there
No.
thinking, does Clark even know about all of these? Has he seen these? Has he played most of them? I couldn't believe how many different themes I was seeing.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, I don't even know what the number would be. Um, and some pinball machines are just literally like a one-off. Like some person in their garage makes a machine or takes an existing machine and sort of retools it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, there's machines that were released in the 60s or 70s that just were released in Europe. It's like very rare to see those games.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot more machines that I have never played than machines I have played.
Sure. And have you ever played this one? I'm going to show you a picture and Pete, if you could
Is
please
that the
put this
shadow?
picture. This is the shadow. It's
Yeah, yeah.
Is that Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
Why is Alec Baldwin on an arcade game?
Okay, so in the 90s, so many pinball machines were licensed movie pinball machines. So have you ever
Sure.
seen The Shadow?
No.
Same. But it didn't matter if it was like a successful movie. I think they would make the pinball machines oftentimes like they would time the release of the movie with the release of the pinball machine. And then you
Makes
would have
sense.
like in the movie theater, oh, look at that. Congo pinball is here in the theater. So before I go and see some pretty crappy 90s summer blockbuster, I can play Waterworld or Hook or, name name a 90s movie that appeals to 18 to 35-year-old males, and there's a lot of pinball machines in that category.
Gotcha. So probably like a smaller run of just let's make a couple hundred of these and get them out there.
I think those
The
had in the
Shadow. I've never even heard
thousands.
of the Shadow.
Yeah, I
Huh.
it's not the best pinball game, but it is a pinball machine. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of myself for recognizing Alec Baldwin because they show so many so fast. I mean, there are ones that are
I think
obvious.
that's Alec. But again, I haven't seen the movie, but it's got to be.
I'll put my research team on it. Does it ever get repetitive? When I watch pinball, and I've played it, you're just hitting the sides. Are there games with other levers and buttons and things to do, or are you just hitting the sides the whole
Yeah,
time?
for the most part, most pinball machines just have two flipper buttons and the plunger to
Right.
get the ball into play. Um, if you ever are playing a pinball machine and you're starting to get bored, that means you are doing very well. At least in my case.
Oh,
Yeah, if I'm like I'm ready to just play a different game. I must be having a very good game because it just
right.
feels like I can make every shot. There's no challenge to it. I know what I'm doing. I've already played all of the modes. I've played the wizard mode. I'm done. Why would I keep playing this machine?
Are there games that are inherently just harder?
Definitely.
What is one that you're like, oh my God, that one is mind-blowingly hard?
I think of Iron Man as
Oh,
pretty difficult. Maybe that's
okay.
just me, but I've never had a very long game on Iron Man.
Side note, my research team just got back to me. Yes, 1994, The Shadow is a movie starring Alec Baldwin. So you
Oh,
are correct.
wow, they are fast.
My research team?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're on it.
Mhm. AKA my fingers. Yeah.
Impressive.
uh, when they introduce a woman in this movie, they call her a pin babe.
Wow.
That's how they chironed her. Have you ever heard that term?
I have not heard that term.
Well, I also thought, why not a pin doll? I feel like they missed the mark.
Pinball, that's much
Pinball.
better.
You.
That's much
Game,
better.
set, match.
The female-only pinball leagues are called Bells and Chimes League. Bells, like Belles.
I got it. Yeah.
But Pinballs feels like a real missed opportunity. I don't know.
I might have a future here.
I think so.
I gotta go. I'm gonna start my own league.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about this world, so I compared this movie a lot to another movie I talked to you about briefly, King of Kong, right? That documentary. And if anybody wants to hear that episode of Make Me a Nerd, go way back in the library. My best friend Megan Isser introduced me to that documentary, which I love. But that really had a narrative with characters that we were invested in and following.
Yes.
Whilst getting to know the world that they were all in.
Yes.
And those people in that movie did not feel relatable to me. They felt like a little too far gone to, like I'm having some memories and flashbacks.
Yeah.
Potential kill screen. So, but all the people in this documentary, Shoot Again, seemed relatable, seemed like people I would hang out with. Is that your experience out in the pinball world? Or did they pick the ones that would sell it the best?
I mean, look, it's a spectrum, pun intended. You know, I think it's the kind of activity that attracts a certain kind of person who, you know, just wants to like do one thing for several hours without having to like interact with other people. That's the appeal for me, at least. So, yeah, I'd say it's mostly not captain of the football team type people who play pinball,
Right.
but it's all types. I mean, it is largely 30, 40, and 50 something white males.
As was the movie. I mean, they made an effort to
Yeah.
show women. The guy from Stern, which is the leading company, it seems, from this documentary.
Yeah. Was it Gary Stern? Probably.
They stopped chironing them. Like, they showed us their names once, and then they stopped because they thought, oh, you know who this is. He talked an hour ago. And I was like, I don't remember.
If you're a pinball person, like, yeah, you know who most of those people are. I don't know. Might have been one of the designers.
No, this guy was from the company, and he said, I think he was like high up in the company, and he called out the pinball world. So I'm quoting him. He's like, it's really only white males. Like, he said it, not me. So I you know, I just I don't want that. Don't put that shit on me, Ricky Bobby. But
it's better than it used. It's a lot more diverse than it used to be. I feel like I play in a league here in Van Nuys, and there's probably 70 people in the league, and I'll say it's probably 25 or 30% female.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I also think the games, as he says in the documentary, they appealed to men primarily.
For sure.
The themes on the games were geared towards young guys.
Yeah.
But now that's changing, and they are making games that appeal to women, and therefore women designers. And so it makes sense that it took some time to evolve.
It's not all just scantily clad women and heavy metal music.
Well, that would appeal to some women.
Some women.
Is there a rivalry between pinball and video games?
Is there a rivalry? No. There's a lot of crossover. Everybody who plays pinball probably plays video games. That's what I think.
Because I did an episode about Sega versus Nintendo. And that's a real like loyalty. You got to pick your side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'm a Nintendo guy.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. I feel like some of the old school pinball guys mentioned that video games hurt the pinball industry. Once people knew they could have those graphics and that experience, why would you play the old pinball machine in the corner when you could play, look at me not even being able to name a video game. Galactica, that's not a video game.
Yeah.
Okay. So Galaga, thank you. So, but that was like the early 80s. Pinball really took a nosedive because everyone preferred video games.
Once video games came out, it was like, oh, well, you can buy a video game for $50, right? Instead of however much a pinball machine cost back then, thousands of dollars, I'm sure.
Well, I looked, they cost minimum 7,000 now.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's, I mean, those were like the basics. And then they went
yeah,
up from there. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
How much does it cost to play? Still a quarter, or is that really old school?
It depends. Shout out to the owners of Ace Gogi Korean Barbecue and Pinball here in Van Nuys and West Hills, California, because most of their games are still 50 cents.
Okay.
But that's pretty rare out in the world. I'd say typically everything's $1.
And is it card like it is at Dave and Buster's? Like you have a card that you
No, I
load?
mean, yeah, if you go to like a Dave and Buster's type place, then yes. But most places where the true pinball nerds play pinball,
Yeah.
most of those places still take quarters.
What are you going to do when coins are obsolete? Isn't that
If I
coming?
could,
Aren't they trying to phase out coins?
I look, if I could swipe a credit card, that would be fine too. But I love, there's something about the quarter that's,
Of course.
I always have quarters on me because what if I run into a pinball machine?
Do you, in the wild? Like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
I
at
always
a
carry
car
like.
wash or something, they might have one, right?
You never know. You're at a pizza place or you drive by a laundromat and you just like see one out in the corner. You're like, stop the car.
Okay. See one out in the corner. No.
They don't usually have them in laundromats anymore. But back when like there was nowhere to play pinball, it was desperate times. You just anywhere you could find one. I knew of some car washes, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. There is that West Hills Pizza Company. They have them, right?
Ooh, do they still?
I think so. I think so. There's a back room.
Okay, I'll check it
That's
out.
my hot tip for you.
Thank you.
And good pizza. So one thing I was thinking as I was watching this is if I could invent a pinball machine, what theme would I choose? Have you ever done that? I'm going to give you some time to think about that because that's a big question, but I'm sure there are, I'll say something and you're going to go, yeah, that exists. But my first thought was cats, actual cats, not the musical, because that's
Hmm,
bullshit.
wow.
But, where like the cats are batting the ball around with their
Oh,
little,
I love that.
right?
I think that's a great theme. You don't have to pay any licensing fees. I think you
That's
should
the
pitch
thing.
this. Yeah.
Right. Shark Tank, here we come. Will you partner with me on this?
Totally.
If you could invent one, is this a big ask? Do I need to give you more time to think?
Well, I've never thought of anything. I would have to combine some of my other hobbies like skiing or snowboarding or
Mm,
pickleball. There's definitely I can think of at least one skiing pinball. Can't think of a
yeah,
snowboarding one, but there's probably one. But I don't think there's a pickleball. Wait, how about a pickleball pinball?
there it is.
Why not?
Well done, us.
Yeah,
If in
I'll play
fact there
cats
aren't
and pickleball.
cats in pickleball. I
I'm
mean,
in.
that's my real nerddom there is cats. Farsight Pinball Arcade. Do you approve or are you a purist? Because I actually downloaded it and tried to play on my phone. Is this something you've done?
Yeah, I don't like video pinball.
Okay.
People, a lot of people I play pinball with love video pinball. They play it all the time. To me, there's no appeal. I'd rather just play a video game that is not pinball.
Okay.
It's like
Is
it's
it
so
some
fake. The whole point of pinball is it's like everything's there. It's mechanical. It's
tactile?
infinity frames per second. Like a video game just can't replicate it.
See, that's the reaction I was anticipating. It's being a purist. It's like you want the real thing or nothing.
That's how I feel.
Well, I felt like an idiot because I couldn't even get it to work on my phone. Like the ball would go up, and then I was like, "What do I hit to make the flippers go?" And I couldn't figure it out.
I think that's user error.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh God, took me about 5 minutes to throw my phone into the river. One of the guys says the new Iron Maiden has, quote, no toy in it. What does
Okay.
that mean?
So Iron Maiden, the very first game designed by Keith Elwin, my favorite designer.
Oh, uh-huh.
Great game. So there's so much pinball jargon. So a toy is like a it's often like the easy thing to shoot for. If you walk up to a pinball machine, you've never seen it before, you've never played it before, you'll oftentimes have, a action figure or a big uh, Pokemon ball in the new pinball machine, and it's like I know I can shoot for this one thing, and every time I hit it, something makes a noise. So that's easy. I don't need to know all the rules.
Okay.
Um, so Iron Maiden has no toy.
So the toy is that
I never
thing,
thought
that
of that
easy.
until he
Oh,
said it in the movie. But yeah, I guess there's no toy in Iron Maiden.
okay. Well, thank
Yeah,
you for explaining that. And I would be
no
all
problem.
toy. I mean, I'm so
Yeah,
bad at stuff like this. I would obviously just go for the easiest thing to make it light up, and then I'd get my little dopamine hit and I'd be on my way.
a toy makes it easy. If you don't know what to do, it's like every time I hit this one, the boat and Jaws. Every time I hit it, something happens. So it must be good.
Where are you getting your information that, ooh, a new game is coming out, or, oh, this, an expo or something happening? Where do you go? Are there newsletters? Are there online forums?
So
You
I mean,
seem in the know.
I'm so steeped in it. I can't help. I don't try to like seek out that information necessarily. I'm not like, oh,
Mhm.
what's the next thing around the corner? That and the companies are very secretive about what they're working on until a game releases. Usually, almost nothing. You might know, hey, there's a game coming in, winter of 2026. Maybe they tell you who's designing it, but they don't tell you the theme or release pictures basically until it's ready to go.
Are they afraid it'll get stolen, the idea?
I'm not actually sure what the reasoning is behind that. You'd have to ask one of the designers or one of the owners of these companies. You'd think like build the buzz a little bit, like release a little bit at a time, but
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
So when a new game arrives, or like you just hear amongst your friends, oh, you haven't been to that bar in a while. They just got a new game and it's this game and you got to go play it.
Yeah. Or
But there's
like,
not a central place.
I have like I follow my local arcade on Instagram,
Oh,
right? So if they get a new game in, I'll see they'll post it. Like, all right, it's right time. Got to go tonight.
I'm imagining a bat phone by your bed
Yeah, yeah.
and it rings. You're like, I'll be right there.
No, I mean, like because when a game releases, like okay, there's a new game out, but even once it's out, it's not in the wild yet. They take a while to make. So
I'm not doubting you. And I don't mean to harp on it, but you said you know when a new game releases.
yeah.
How do you know? From your friends?
I also follow Stern Pinball
Okay.
on Instagram, and so they'll announce, hey, we there's this new game that we made. Um, and then if it's like the other companies, yeah, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's like, oh, did you hear so and so is gonna make a new game?
Were there ever magazines or something? Like when you were young? There must have been a magazine.
I'm sure,
No?
but not that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Okay.
There's influencers, people stream pinball, and there's like pinball podcasts. I'm not into any of that really, but
Except this one.
though obviously this
She
is
looks at
like
the
my
camera and
favorite
winks.
podcast,
Right?
but it's not a pinball per se podcast.
It is today.
Today it is.
We covered almost everything that I wanted to say, except at the very end of the film, Dolly Parton. There's a Dolly Parton pinball machine. I was like, that's
Yeah.
the one for me.
Yeah, I didn't know you were a big Dolly fan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty big Dolly fan. Love her. Think she can do no wrong and that she's an angel on earth.
Yeah. Well,
And
I've
now if
played
she were
Dolly Parton
holding
pinball.
cats,
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, unfortunately Dolly pinball is old enough that the technology, it's not like you get to like listen to Jolene while you're playing. That would be awesome.
Yeah, wait. That brings up a couple of questions for me. But first, before I get to those questions, I want to let everybody know that Make Me a Nerd is a production of True Story FM, engineering by the peerless Pete Wright. My theme song, which should be Jolene, is Wonderstruck by Jane and the Boy. You can get me on Instagram at Mandy_Kaplan_Clavens, both with K's, or TikTok at Mandy Miscast. And please, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review and write a message. It really helps more people find the podcast. And if you're feeling extra supportive, please go to makemeanerd.com/join, and hitting that button will get you your episodes ad-free and early. So, but some of them do have music, right? Like some games would have, if
Yeah.
it's Indiana Jones, for example, it would have the theme.
Newer games have better technology, and Godzilla features the song Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, come on.
Is that the one with more cowbell?
Rockin' and rollin'.
No.
I don't know if there's cowbell in that song.
I don't know. How do you handle it when you're trying to focus and the table next to you is playing a loud song, or the guy next to you is screaming and swearing, and how does that affect you?
Yeah, it can take you out of the zone. It's possible. Arcades are busy places, so like sometimes people will just like run into you while you're playing, or I've run into people, or people are playing and they're like kicking their legs out and swinging their arms, and you get whacked or something. Yeah, that can affect you. My phone rings like I'm in the middle of some ball.
And is there etiquette? It's like, that's just not done, man. And have you ever
Yeah.
gotten into an arcade fight? I have to know. But tell me about the etiquette first.
Etiquette. Yeah, there's etiquette, right? You don't want to like stand over somebody's shoulder and stare while they're playing, usually, unless you know them. You don't want to like talk to people while they're in the middle of a game. I mean, I don't know that there's written rules here, but there's a code. There's a known code.
And what if you want to play a game and someone's on it? Is it they get to stand there as long as they want? Or is it like, hey man, you played twice through, now etiquette says it's time to move on?
Yeah, the old arcade rule, I don't know if you were like an arcade person back in the 80s, probably not,
Well,
but you
it's
would put a
pronounced
quarter.
arcade where I'm from.
Arcade. Well, when you
Oh,
go
yeah.
to the arcade
Yeah.
in Boston, if Framingham, wherever you're from, you put a quarter up on the machine to indicate I'm the next person.
Mhm.
I don't usually see people. I've seen it done in pinball, but it's not usually the thing. Usually, if you finish a game and you get the sense that maybe somebody else is like waiting for the machine, you might just finish a game, kind of look around, say like, "Hey, man, you want to play, or you want to like jump in with me, or whatever." Um, but some people just they play a game for a long time and they don't really worry if other people are around. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are around that.
You said jump in with me. People play doubles. Like you pull the
Yeah,
thingy and play that ball, and then the next person plays the next ball.
exactly. Yeah. So you can play most modern pinball machines. You can play up to 4 players.
Oh,
Yep. And so in leagues and tournaments, often you'll play in groups of 4. So
that makes
that's
it
a
more
lot of
social.
75% of the time you're socializing.
Yeah. Okay, so my last question, I teased it. Have you ever been in an arcade fight? Please say yes.
Oh
God,
man,
please say yes,
please
please.
say yes. I'd have to make something up. An arcade fight?
Yeah, or
I
like that
I asked a
I
guy to
told you I
take
was next and like, and then
the,
comes to blows.
the closest thing I could think of is there. Like I've had to ask people to like remove beers from on top of pinball machines, or sometimes children from on top of pinball machines. It's like,
Or their breasts. I'm imagining there's some arcade
yeah,
sluts who are like, "Oh, are you playing?"
I don't think that's a thing.
No. Okay.
No, but people like I've literally on a couple occasions seen people like put their kids like on top of the pinball machine, like a toddler.
Yeah.
It's like this is glass. This is a glass
Yeah.
surface, sir.
That's a disaster
It's never
waiting to
moms
happen.
that do that. It's always the dads.
You said it,
And
not
I've
me.
had and so the closest thing I've gotten into a fight is like sometimes there's pushback. It's like, no, like you really should not do that. Please remove your
Mhm.
child.
Do me a favor. When you get into a fight, at
Yes.
a pinball fight, will you let me know and we'll do a follow-up brief episode, just to here's what happened. This guy said this, I said this. That's why I have a black eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
And have your friends film it.
Yeah, let me just, before this comes to fisticuffs, let me just hit the record button.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Let me just grab your kid off the top and hold him as a human shield.
There you go.
Before you throw that first punch.
Yeah.
Clack. We did it.
We did it. We crushed it.
We did a
This
pinball
is the
podcast.
Best episode of Make Me a Nerd of all time.
And I didn't sing any of the Who, Pinball Wizard. I've been restrained.
We'll have to have a second pinball episode.
Bring
this is
it
going to be so
on.
well received. 10 million listens. The demand will come for more pinball in the future.
And if it does, you'll come back. This was because you combined knowledge with passion. And that's what makes it.
There you go.
Makes somebody lean in and want to know more. So thank you.
That's right. Thank
All
you.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, thank you for listening. Until next time. Thank you, Clark.
Thank you.